So when a person is rebellious towards your vast instruction or commandment, and you want to win them, you want to win them into obedience, he'll wear you out. Because their rebellious heart is not towards obeying. They want to raise an argument. So for many people, what they just want to do is to raise an argument. They don't want to embrace transformation. And that's what I was thinking. Now, when Arthur came to Nigeria, because I've shared several times, now someone like Arthur, I wanted him to come around for the dedication. But he can't travel like he used to travel. One, age. Two, he also has several things he's doing over there. Also, before he can travel like he used to travel, the Most High has to now release him. A time will come in your life where the more you go in the Lord, the more releasing you become hard. He told Peter, when you are young, you can go anywhere you go. But a time will come when you stretch your hand, someone will take you where you don't want to go. A time will come in your ministry where you can hardly travel. Because most of these people, the enemy is already waiting for them to kill them. The level will come when you become a demonic terror that you don't even travel anyhow anymore. It's not as if you cannot travel, because you are now a high-profile kingdom person. Do you know that after Goliath's death, Goliath's brother, who was not in this scenario, was preparing to kill David? Have you read the story? You've heard the story, sir? Goliath dies, and his brother was preparing that one day he will avenge Goliath. Yes, now. Goliath's brother he will avenge, yes, against David. And one day, David went to battle. In that battle, he now fell dizzy. Goliath's brother just came out from nowhere with a sharp sword to now kill David. It was one of David's men that pulled him out. I said, no. And then the sword passed, and they now killed that guy. They now told David, from now on, you will not go to battle with us, lest the lamp of Israel be quenched. Now, a level come when he has to retreat, and the men he has raised now go forward. We must understand that in ministry, a time comes when those we raise will now become the voice. A time came when the apostles were the one in Jerusalem where others made the momentum to begin to bring transformation to places. A time came when the Jewish people were targeting nobody else but Peter, James. They killed James with a sword. They went for Peter. A time come when the enemy would target the high-profile people. Because why? If we stop them, we'll stop the movement. So you find that these guys not able to travel as they used to travel. But they can do podcasts, send video from where they are around the world, but they can't make the same movement they used to make. But when he made the first movement to Nigeria, I remember when he came with David Salinas, he made a statement that remained. He said, hope this is worth it. Because, like you said, it's true, sometimes people can fly to pray, minister where 2 or 3 are gathered, but not internationally. I can't take 3.5 million and fly to Zimbabwe. And I get there and I see 2 old women. One old man about to die, and 5 children. And you are telling me this meat will move. What I'm preaching, I'm calculating how much I spent. Wasted time. A podcast, a Zoom call would have a Zoom call would have done this one. So The time will come when your trips will be valuable. Yeah, so no doubt. So, but notwithstanding, there's still the pivotal aspect where you've sent it to a nation to find one person who become the crowd. The crowd is in that one person. The nation is in one person. So he sends you as an apostle to meet that one person. That one person, that's it. But not that you carry your trips anywhere. I don't care about the crowd anymore. Just no, I won't come. I won't come. Except the Lord is sending me to one person who I know is the door to the multitude. So he himself did so. So after someone who is an investor, it's like he knows there's one person in Nigeria. If I can find him, then it will. So, and that's why he believed in me so much. Even when I was in doubt, even when I didn't believe in myself. When he first came to Nigeria, me and there's this guy called Brajide, with the one who are leaders over the JCLC ministry. We now did a program with Hebrew Assembly. Each time they want to start the opening prayer, I will allow Jide go and take opening prayer. But I didn't know what to call. Is it Jesus or Yeshua anymore? Have you been there? We are not confused what to call. Jide doesn't even care. So I'm still examining this thing if it's still worth it, if it's true. You're taking your time to observe. But the key was I was not the only one who heard Arthur. Many heard him, but they didn't hear with their hearts. I heard with my heart. But even though I was resisting what I was hearing, Jehovah orchestrated me to meet Greg coming from Australia, who brought the same message but in a different way. After Greg leaves, after God tells him to come again, the Lord has prepared me to now understand the message fully. So there are seasons of understanding in our lives when you fully understand the message. But where we are going is this: we're saying that we all need to be adequately prepared and trained to know how to communicate the message. Because our brethren who are still in the trap of religion, many of them are good people. But the problem with them is that they see scriptures from a denominational eyeglass. Isaac Grace has been a pastor a long time in Lagos. I used to be attending the church where he pastors. Though we're not friends then, but I was a friend to the pastor who he was pastoring with. The time came when as a great pastor called me on phone that I should come see him. Very prominent man in Lagos. But I call him this name, you may know him. He called me and told me, I've been seeing my posts, I've changed to a new movement. He's appointed that God has told him. He never told me then that Mokwa is my village now. You should know Mokwa. Say, for my teachings, he has been seeing that after Mokwa, God will not use me. And then this movement I've joined now will kill my ministry, will destroy my ministry, blah, blah, blah. Trying to speak down on it. But he never asked a question. But all he was saying about the movement was in error. Since he didn't ask me a question, I didn't try to defend myself. Say, thank you, sir. That's the last I heard from him. And there's no other way he can ever call me anymore, and I will answer him. Even if he calls me and we have to discuss, I will bring out, because that time I was not equipped. But I only believed I was on track. But now the Lord has equipped me at a level where I can defend my faith. And that's a key thing. Equipping is in two levels. At a level where you can defend your faith. The second level is at the level where you can help people find the faith. So all I've been doing so far is to be equipped to defend this faith I preach. I know what I believe now, I know it. When Arthur came, he was around with David Salinas alongside James. Three of them were discussing. I was there. They were talking about the Hebrew movement. I was a novice. When they would mention all this big language I talk now, I was just like a mugu there, hearing them. I couldn't enjoy the conversation. They would mention about these things. I was ignorant. I just stood like, I didn't have the picture. I stood there just looking. Couldn't enter the conversation. It was too beyond me. But today, after can sit, I can stay and stand and make an input. And they say, wow, that's powerful. I can talk now. So you immerse yourself to know. To know. So I didn't know it in one day. I knew it by studying. And there are materials here. If you give yourself the materials to help you. To help you. Praise Jehovah. Any question for move further? So the assignment, we give assignments out. I think was it 3 assignments? Now this will be our last class. The next class we'll meet, the next is the exam. And the exam will cover those who have attended the first, who have done the first. Those who did the first one, you write them. We'll put a date for the exam, and we'll be preparing a certificate. We'll prepare a certificate for those who attend. Now we can only award the certificates to those who. Now, so this exam is so important. If you pass the exam and you do so well, at least you need at least 50% over 100 for us to be able to award you the certificate or the. I think I'm looking at making it a diploma. Don't forget that the Hebrew Seminary is in affiliation with the Hebrew Seminary in the US, which Hebrew University in the US, which is accredited. So the certificate we are offering is from an accredited university. That with that certificate, it gives you an edge. So it's an accomplishment, and that you can sit anywhere, put a certificate. Even if you choose to today, I'm going to Europe to pastor, or to anywhere you go to. Maybe you fly to Dubai for a walk, and then the ministry opportunity comes. You can tell that as a platform for you to be a part of leadership or pastoral work there. So it gives you that edge in your ministry. So it's not a mushroom certificate. It's certificated. So I'm looking at January, but we'll pick a date in January for the exam. So, but you must be able to prove without a shadow of doubt that you are a certified theologian at the level the house of Israel. So this will mean you go and do review. If you fall below 50, we can't give that certification to anybody that does that, because we can't be giving it to somebody who will go there and mess us up. So we're not part of the failure. We're not part of it. So whoever is holding the house of Israel certificates is somebody who will, if we send this one to anywhere in the world, is there. So, but I'll be giving out areas of studies, areas where you can prepare towards the exam. So we'll give this thing. I will give handouts too for those who want handouts, so you can prepare ahead towards the exam. So the assignment, I think you owe me an assignment. Am I correct? I'm just, how many do you owe? Please come out first. Yes, just come forward first. Please, once anybody comes in, we'll do full assessment on the person. Whatever you're presenting to us and questions we're asking you, want to see confidence, boldness, want to see how you do it. Please, we don't want so towards the exam, one of the this is a random sampling on your equipping. So far, so good. So you owe me an assignment now. Reading. Yeah. Yes, sir. Okay, perfect. Yes, sir. And the key, perfect. The key. So this whole what he has to offer us now is a whole school. If he does it successfully, I'm telling you what he will share with us will change and really, really help many of us. So, but did you prepare for that? But can you still say to him, just come forward. Let's welcome him. So begin first by showing us how did Judas die. How did Judas die? So maybe should we have a long one so it doesn't take
I don't know. Something like that. I never think. I don't know where I will be looking into my scripture. Shalom Saints. Now, we are going to discuss on how Judas Iscariot died. Before now, I was told that Judas hanged himself, not knowing to me that writings most of the times use some certain word to classify someone as to describe what. But when I go into study, I see that Matthew recorded that that Judas Iscariot hanged himself after giving Yeshua over to his enemy that killed him. And he went on hang himself. And after he has thrown back the money to the priest, and he went on and hang himself. But according to the book of Acts, when I read Acts, I see that Judas, Acts still record that Judas died in the land he bought with the money he betrayed Yeshua. And many of the comments, like Wikipedia, say that Judas died in the field of the money, the field that he bought, the field, he died in the field whereby he bought with the money he betrayed Yeshua of it. After that, before dying in that land, he was remorse with all kinds of things, and there he fell and died. But I came to confuse. I'm saying that it's not a contradiction, that it's just based on perspective of writings. I'm saying that Matthew writing on conclusion, but Acts give a full explanation of how the things happen. And if you don't deeply understand what is it, you will see that you will think that they are contradicting themselves, or maybe they are saying different things. Look at what, according to the book of Matthew, chapter 27. Let's see Matthew 27. Matthew 27, 3 to 10. Matthew 27, 3 to 10. He said, then Judas, which betrayed him, when he saw that he was condemned, repented himself, and they brought again the 30 pieces of silver to the chief priest and elders, saying, I have sinned in that I have betrayed the innocent blood. And they said, what is that to us? See thou to that. And he cast down the pieces of silver in the temple, and they departed and went and hanged himself. This is Matthew writing. Matthew said, Matthew concluded the whole matter without giving the full explanation of where he died and the portion he died and the particular place that his death took place. But he gave the whole conclusion at once that he went and hanged himself. I'm coming to explain that in our own understanding so that we will understand it better. Look at Acts chapter 1, book of Acts chapter 1, verse 18. Acts chapter 1, verse 18. Acts 1, 18. Now this man purchased a field with the reward of iniquity, and falling headlong, he burst asunder in the midst, and all his bowels gush out. Have you seen the record of Acts? Now, if you don't have deeper study, you will now base on the Matthew, or you contradict both of them. But this Acts showing us that Judas Iscariot bought a piece of land with the money that he sold Yeshua off. And when he has found out that he has done evil, and the same that field, he died. And that land, why do I deeply hold on this place? Because it was, according to commentary, he said that that land is still called a field of blood till this day. That portion that Judas died. And why is he called the field of blood? Because the land, he bought this land with the money he betrayed Yeshua of. That is why they called the land the field of blood. Look at what I wrote about it. Judas bought a field with his with his silver reward, and fell headlong in it, and all his bowels gushed out. Implies that he threw himself down rather than that he died accidentally. Why these two contradictions could not be more different in how they depict Judas dismissed. They both seem interesting. Therefore, both tradition record that the field associated with Judas was called the field of blood. The field whereby Judas died was called the field of blood because he bought the land with the money he betrayed Yeshua of. And that is why that place is called the field of blood till this day, indicating that regardless of how he died, blood, be it be it blood among be it blood money, his own blood, or the blood of the one he betrayed, will be his eternal legacy. Why? This gives full detail about calling that place the field of blood. His blood was shed there, and he bought that land with the money he betrayed of blood, innocent blood, the same place he died. This gives me more deeper about how Judas died. Because before I was thinking that he hung himself on a tree. He died of hanging, as olden days people do. And when they do that, you see that they have defiled the community. I think that this is what Judas does. But here is letting me to know that why Matthew recorded that he hanged himself, meaning that for doing this, he killed himself. For doing such thing, for betraying innocent blood, he killed himself. Matthew concludes the whole matter without giving full explanation or portion how it happened. And Acts give more explanation and gives the portion and the particular place that this thing happened.
Okay, I want to get more clarification on what you said because what I'm saying in Matthew, continuing from this, you see, but the chief priest, taking the piece of silver, said, "It is not lawful to put them into the treasury, since they are blood money." So they took counsel and brought with them the potter's field, and bought with them the potter's field to bury strangers in. Therefore, that the field has been called the field of blood to this day. Then was fulfilled what had been spoken by the prophet Jeremiah, saying, "And they took 30 pieces of silver, the price of him whom a price has been set by some of the sons of Israel, and they gave them for the potter's field, as Elohim directed me." Now, Matthew said that it was the chief priest that chose the piece of silver to buy the field. And Acts is saying that it was Judas himself that chose the 30 piece of silver to buy the field. So now I want to because comment you don't come and
Come up now, we are waiting for
I'm
you.
also supported the
I have my master here. Come on.
this one suppose that
Come on.
so what understand without wetin party dey talk dey wrong or wetin apostle shey na me write abi or na peter ask na it's Luke that recorded books. Okay, but who made it this statement?
It's Luke, we know.
Okay, this statement was said by Peter. Now wetin party for here and wetin Peter talk for out here. We want to know between the two of them whether the chief priest I buy this because what you say as he hang himself, they say what let's read from verse 5. From verse 4 says, saying, "I have seen in the
Where are you reading? Where are you reading?
Matthew 27 from verse 4.
Okay, Matthew 27.
From verse 4. It is saying, "I have seen in the great innocent blood." They say, "What is that of? See to it yourself." And throwing down the piece of silver in the temple, he departed and went to hang himself. Now, what Matthew record there?
Yes.
Now, we'll come to Acts 1 for the 15, right?
Mm.
It says, "Now, this man bought a field with the reward of his what? Wickedness, and falling headlong. He posted open in the middle, and all his bowels washed out, and it became known as the habitation of the inhabitants. Now, this one, what Matthew is talking about, what Matthew was saying here is that he threw the money in the midst of those two priests first, before he go hang himself. But this one said, "Don't buy the field first before he died." So now one gets to know whether between months, waiting Matthew they talk, they right. Yeah, how waiting Matthew
The Let us go back to that Matthew. Matthew from verse 6, Abi. Matthew 27. Matthew, Matthew 27 from verse 6. And the chief priest took the silver pieces and said, it is not lawful for to put them into the treasury because it is the price of blood. And they pick up a price of blood. And they took counsel and they bought with them the potter's field to bury strangers in. Wherefore, that field was called the field of blood unto this day. Then was fulfilled that which was spoken by Jeremiah the prophet, saying, and they took the 30 pieces of silver, the price of him that was valued, whom they of the children of Israel did value, and gave them for the potter's field, as the Lord appointed me. And Yeshua stood before the governor, and the governor asked him, saying, art thou the king? Wait, there's something I'm looking for. Art art thou the king of the Jews? And Yeshua said unto him, thou sayest, okay, I passed. Go to Mark, Acts again. Acts 1, let's read from verse 16. Acts 1. Hold your, hold yourself. Acts, look at verse 16. Men and brethren, his scripture must need have been fulfilled, which the Holy Ghost by the mouth of David spake before concerning Judas, which was guide to them that took issue. For he was numbered with us, and they had obtained part of this ministry. Now this man purchased a field with the reward of iniquity, and a foreign headlong he burst asunder in the midst, and all his bowels gushed out, and it was known unto all the dwellers at Jerusalem, in so much as that field is called in their proper tongue, Al-Kadema, El-Sadema, that is to say, the field of blood. Now, you brought a point, a very powerful point. But the point I'm holding there is the point of field of blood. Matthew said that the chief priest bought the field. Acts said that Judas bought the field with the bloody money. And the same land they are talking about, field of blood. Now, your question is, how come that all of them come to this point? I'm holding on Acts. I'm holding on Acts that Judas bought the land, and there he died. No, Matthew conclude the matter. No, it's not wrong. Hence, he's talking about the field of blood.
Because you have a or basis to ascertain that it was the Judas that bought the land. Or you are
why I'm holding on Acts is based on how he died. Matthew said he went and hanged himself, but Acts said that there he died.
But you have to get into the picture of this because what you said before he went to hang himself, he threw away the pieces of
He
silver.
went back and threw away. He must have getting the money and refund to them.
He returned the money. So that means that you don't like my uncle clap, there's a way to do wrong. They get my money. You can't comfort away the them, right? Now you threw away the money, threw away the money. Then that you don't need this money. They say, ah, nothing against you. Like they have come to acknowledge them. This money is not them. The money is of no need again. You understand now? Before he went to hand himself. Now the chief priest pick the money. They say they don't fit put am for waiting.
Into the treasury
Into the
box.
treasury box, right?
Yes.
I said the money is a blood money.
Bloody money.
It's just like an illegal money. You understand what I'm saying? They need to go and buy what? A piece of land. Now that piece of land where they buy now, what did they talk to the what is the piece of land?
Not even what they is already a portal where
I'm getting something. Now they want to that they use to bury strangers.
yeah, very
Now,
strange.
as prophet Jeremiah says, after the text as it was written in the book of what?
Psalms.
They have no record saying, have not recorded that they used it to bury strangers. And they also recorded that it was prophet Jeremiah that said it. So now, getting to conclude whether what Peter talk and what Matthew write, which whether the two of them they arrive at the same point or they talk, this one they talk, this one they talk. Because I found out that even before Matthew Peter made this statement, all the disciples were here, apart from that Iscariot. If you read from verse 13, he said, and when they had entered, they went up to the upper room where they were staying, Peter and John and James and Andrew and Philip and Thomas and Bartholomew and Matthew. Matthew is there. James, the son of Zebedee, the son of Alphaeus, and Simon, the son of Zebedee, and Judas, the son of James, and all with one accord devoted themselves to pray together with the women, and Mary, the mother of Jesus, and his brother. And in those days, Judas stood up among the brethren. The company of persons was in all about 120, and said, brethren, the scripture has been fulfilled, which the Holy Spirit spoke beforehand by the mouth of David. Now, here they say by the mouth of David. This one they say by prophet Jeremiah.
By prophet Jeremiah. The other one like Psalms.
Matthew wrote this one was there.
The whole thing you will see that based on their writing perspective. But what I am telling you is what art recorded was that Judas bought the piece of land. Even me, even listen. So now, because this place here you rise now, this place you rise now from is where I are still working on. But let me tell you. So let me tell you. Wait, listen. So now, but the point that is why when you ask me, I say that I'm still working on it. But what I'm telling you is that all ends that he died at the field of blood.
It is a field of blood because it was purchased by blood money. Was a field of blood because he died there.
It was a field of blood because he bought the land with a bloody money. And there, the Judas bought the land, and there he died also.
So he bought the land to kill himself.
No.
He bought the land. So how can somebody who is, like, if I get the money from somebody, you do a business, and then you get the money from the business. You don't think of buying the land. You don't think of buying the land. For someone to think of buying the land, he has a future plan. Because people buy land and buy land for futuristic. You can't buy a land today and just sell the land. So are you buying a land for yourself?
No, according to Art, he said he died accidentally. It wasn't his mind to buy land and kill himself.
Because he was surveying the land.
So now you can be he died accidentally, meaning he fell there.
But if you look at this issue critically, if you examine this issue critically, from what I have come to see from the two biblical verses, Matthew and Acts of the Apostles, I come to realize that one thing is very paramount in this issue, and this issue, if we look at it with, if we analyze it with human behavior, because there is no possibility of someone who wants to commit suicide buying a land and the reason for the land being known by people. Because as at the point after he betrayed Yeshua, as at this point, the man lost his sanity. Because when he realized the depth of what he had done, I believe at this point he was no longer thinking right. Because what they call it, it's in America to commit suicide. Depression. So at this point, it's depressed. So I believe when I look at this, when I read these two verses, I believe that because of him realizing the depths of what he has done, so he was looking for a way to remedy the situation by returning the money as a way of, no, I can't take this money because of this. If a way of maybe reducing the weight of his crime, the return of the money. So these people, seeing that this money is soiled with blood, so they took this money and bought the land for burial of strangers. And this was made known to the region that this land, this is what we are buying this land because of this reason, for burial. Because we can't use this money and buy a place where humans will do or where can be habited. Now, pointing back to what they now pointed back to the prophecy that the money was used, that the money is, cannot be used for a dwelling, an habitable place, which means a burial place is not an habitable land, it's a waste land. So if we look at it on this angle, so it means that it was not Judas Iscariot about the land. It was the people that he sold Yeshua to, that they returned the money, that used that money, that we can't take this money. They bought that land for that reason. Now, if we also look at when the Bibles, the two portion talked about him committing suicide, because at the state, when you look at the state of Judas Iscariot, as I said earlier, Judas Iscariot is battling with what's depression. Depression. And depression is one of the basic factors that leads people to taking their life. So when Matthew talked about that Judas Iscariot hung himself as a result of he could not be able to bear the iniquity, that is the weight of his crime. So all he talked about is to take his life. And if you also look at what Yeshua said, Yeshua made a statement that the man that will betray me, that it would have been better that he's not born. But if he is born, that they should tie him with stone and throw him on the water. I don't know if you have come across this. That they should tie him with stone and put him in water and drown him. So it means that the man that will betray him, the weight that will be on him is unbearable. So if you look at these statements and drag it down, to narrow it down to the state of Judas Iscariot after this betrayal, you understand that at this point in time, after this betrayal, Judas Iscariot had lost his sanity. So all he's thinking of is how to end it up because he will not be able to bear it. So that is why, with a critical thinking, looking at these two verses, and also using what we know and from the examples and other biblical verses that I've portrayed so far, we can see that Judas Iscariot committed suicide. He did not die by accident. And Matthew talked about him hanging himself, and Acts of the Apostle talked about him falling headlong. Falling headlong. Yes, falling headlong. Now, the meeting point of these two verses is suicide. I don't know if you understand me. The meeting point of these two verses, he committed suicide. So either he fall headlong or he died by hanging. But the meeting point of these two verses is that he committed suicide.
That's not a meeting point.
This, let me
If you say that is a meeting point, you are taking it back to Matthew.
let me make it clear to you.
Yes. When he hung himself. Yes.
In Acts, Peter said, he fell headlong, his and burst open. That's a different direction. That's a different mood of death. That's a different.
Let me make it clear to you.
From what you are saying, he said he fell headlong. Now, falling headlong, was he being killed? Does someone push him?
Somewhere accident.
Eh?
Somewhere.
Listen, wait.
No! He killed himself. He fell headlong.
Wait. Listen. Let me ask you. Listen. A death of Judas. Let me ask you something. Let's come to our own destiny now. If you train me up, do good to me, feed me with everything, I betray you. After betraying you, all the good thing you do for me now rise against me and cause desperation that I no longer control myself and I died. As a pre-writer, you want to write about me in summary. Will you write that I kill myself, or you will write it based on how will you write it? This is what Matthew is up to, that he killed himself. But Acts is telling you that he died is accidentally.
No, he never mentioned accident.
Sounds more like an accident.
No, never mentioned accident.
See, if you can't get, if nobody can get the
No, that's what
let's
let's
allow person to be person.
Yes, that's what I see.
Of course.
Now, what I can is his righteous act. There's what he just said.
Yeah,
What are the words that I just found out the righteous act? He said he was depressed, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, the depression is first of all right based on what he did. Wetin him do now, wetin do now take am. Na wetin do now kill am. Wetin be before him commit now, na him win am to death.
Conclusion, na him kill himself.
Means that he not kill himself. You dey get my point now. And he hanging himself to death means that he killed himself. Now, the righteous side will present it in a way so this based on what you analyze, we analyze the situation based on what this guy committed now. Yes. He used his hand now to
Kill himself.
And if you also look at, if you also go down to that 19 also made a very vivid statement that as the cause of his death, it was made known there was an awareness. And we know that a death that makes such awareness of such magnitude has to be also not a natural death. It has to be a death that is either of
you have bro grammar too much.
Suicide.
Let me.
Suicide.
You have bro grammar too much. Let me shorten it.
Let's talk about this.
Because of our time.
Yes. Let's summarize because it's still has if not be here and then
Our time is long. So
that's the position.
now, there's where I want to put him.
Don't respond.
Okay, there's where I want to.
You're defending to.
There's where I want to.
You're defending the part. You cite a part, so they're giving their own
Preview
position on what you think. So what less you have to offer?
So now, what I'm saying is now concerning how, because I know that most of all where we are confused is he returned the money. Who bought the land? In returning the money, as I am now a businessman, I may get money from something now. I bought a piece of land. But in buying that piece of land, it's just like a ritual money. I see that this money I buy this place is not clear and it's killing me. I found means for me to return that money back to the
After buying land, after you buy land.
yeah, even after I bought the land.
You are presuming. I'm saying I've always told you that once do ICGCs, you always do ICGCs. You're speaking to the text. This text will speak to you. What I was expecting from you is to have gone and read the reference of Jeremiah. What we have done close as a scholar. Matthew references Jeremiah. Peter references
Psalms.
The key is to even come close to the idea is to go back to that Jeremiah and see the connection between what Jeremiah said, because anything Jeremiah said regarding that. Because if they are telling us that the actions of these guys was rooted in a prophetic word, then you should check that out. Then, but there was no reference to you trying to investigate that itself. That would have been a sense. I'm doing exegesis. I'm finding out from the text. Because I'm trying to find out from the text. So I'm now reading that word they claim is from Jeremiah. The one he said is from. Because two of them, the ground they have is different. And shockingly, if you check these statements, you have different from Jeremiah. The same way they claim that Jeremiah said it, it's not really in Jeremiah, it's in Zechariah. That is what we're now digging another problem, which we're not going to even touch. Because when it says Jeremiah, you now check, it's not really Jeremiah, it's Zechariah. So that's not one. So I'm only saying that you opened a thought for everybody to think about, and that's a very fantastic work. The key to this teaching is to open our mind to realize preaching is not just come and say God so loved the world. Preaching is full of work, because the love thing is to the most of what you do is reconcile. You're reconciling, and if you can really come to the point you can reconcile scriptures. The time will come over the years when they are mentioning teachers, people with reference. This is what people don't come into. knowing Bible will become silent. The information we have we need in the text. Let's not speak to it. Let's find it.
Yes.
So the next,
Let's go to the next.
the next place. What's the next one you have?
I have how many times did Yeshua cleanse the temple?
Problem person.
What? So, to tell you truth, the assignment heaped together, but I tried in touching it, each of them. But based on Yeshua cleaning the temple, even before now, Yeshua cleansed the temple once. But when looking into it, based on where it is written, you may think that Yeshua cleansed the temple twice. According to John, it's written in the book of John, chapter 2. But when you go to Matthew, you will see it in 21.
Mark 21.
So the position of it and their perspective of lighting may make you think that it is twice. Look at what I wrote from Wikipedia. He said, Yeshua cleansed the temple
So
once.
the Wikipedia source you have,
Yes.
what book? I don't want Wikipedia information. I want the source.
So,
I want the source, not Wikipedia.
Wikipedia.
It's not a source. They just that's the same thing these people do. Or you just go online. Wikipedia is like a national passport. We just go there and put something there. So now you're also borrowing their mindset. Now in Wikipedia, there are books or their sources. What do you get from Wikipedia? No source. So we'll move to the third assignment then.
Let me speak on this.
You can't speak on what you have
Let me
done.
speak in the Bible.
You said?
Let me speak in the Bible.
You can't, if you do that, you'll be doing ICGCs. But let me allow you to bring out whatever you have.
Do I read?
Okay, go ahead.
Yeshua cleansed the temple once, probably near the end of his 3 years ministry, and for some unknown.
You are reading what somebody has somebody. You are reading from what somebody said. I mean, this thing you read that somebody wrote.
Yes.
That's what I don't want. That's why I say challenging on Facebook. People are saying what somebody said, and they are saying it, thinking it's correct. It's not saying they are talking from denominational perspective. And you're not they trap your empty so that not help you escape from. If you're going to quote what somebody said, you said, according to Dr. or Rabbi, blah, 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 in his book, Think and Grow Rich, page 15, he said, blah, 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 blah. But if you're ever going to quote a source, you must have a counter source. If not, you're quoting that if it's correct to us, you're saying what you're quoting from someone says is we're not going to accept his view because we're not going to accept his view. But if you're not going to use him, then tell us, speak from the text by showing us the text yourself, where you saw the two cleansing.
Okay. Mark 11. Book of Mark. Yes. 11. And when they came nigh, I'm reading from verse 1. I'll be reading fast because of time. And when they came nigh to Jerusalem, unto Bethphage, Bethhage, and Bethany, at the Mount of Olives, he sent forth 2 of his disciples and said unto them, Go your way into the village over against you, and as soon as ye be enter into it, ye shall find a court tied whereunto never never man sat. Loose him and bring him. And if any man say unto you, why do ye this? Say ye that the Lord had need of him, and straightway he will send him hither. And they went their ways and found the corpse tied by the door, tied by the door, without in a place where two ways met, and they roused him, and they came, and certain of them that stood there said unto them, what do ye, rousing the court? And they said unto them, even as Yeshua had commanded. And they let them go. And they brought the court to Yeshua, and they cast their garments on him, and he sat upon him. And many spread their garments in the way, and others cut down branches of the trees, and strew them in the way. And they that went before, and they that followed, cried, saying, Hosanna, Hosanna, blessed is he that cometh in the name of the Lord. Blessed be the kingdom of our father David that came in the name of the Lord. Hosanna in the highest. And Yeshua entered into Jerusalem and into the temple, and when he had looked round about upon all things, and now the eventide was come, he went he went out unto Bethany with the 12. And on the morrow, when they were come from Bethany, he was hungry. And seeing a fig tree afar off, having leaves, he came, if haply he might find anything thereon. And when he came to it, he found nothing but leaves, for the time of fig was not yet. And Yeshua answered and said unto it, No man eat from thee, no man eat fruit of thee hereafter forever. And his disciples heard it, and they come to Jerusalem. And Yeshua went into the temple, and began to cast out them that sold and bought in the temple, and overthrew the tables of the money changers, and the seats of them that sold doves, and would not suffer that any man should carry any vessel through the temple. And he taught, saying unto them, It is not written by house, it is not written, My house shall be called of all nations the house, the house of prayer, but ye have made it a den of thieves. This is what Mark recorded. Let us go to John 2, verse 12. I'll be shortening it because of why I read Mark from the one is because of that fig tree. John 2, from verse 12. John 2, from verse 12. No, don't worry. I have my mouth. Verse 12. After this, he went down to Capernaum, he and his mother and his brethren and his disciples, and they continued there not many days. And the Jewish Passover was at hand. And Yeshua went up to Jerusalem, and found in the temple those that sold oxen, the sheep, and and the changers of money, sitting, and when he had made a scourge of small courts, he drove them all out of the temple, and the sheep, and the oxen, and poured out the changer money, and overthrew the table. They are saying the same thing. Go to Matthew, go to Matthew 21. Matthew 21. Matthew 21, verse 12, from verse 12. And Yeshua went into the temple of Elohim and cast out all them that sold and bought in the temple, and overthrew the tables of the money changers, and the seats of them that sold doves. And they said unto them, It is written, My house shall be called the house of prayer, but ye have made it a den of thieves. Now, this is, we're not going too far. This is why I told you that Yeshua do not cleanse the temple twice. Because based on their writings, Matthew said those that sold doves and sheep and overthrown their table. Mark said the same thing. But based on where they are writing from, their writing perspective, their record, it may sound to you, the other one said Bedford, according to Mark. But here said in Jerusalem. Said in Jerusalem. So if you don't have deeper understanding concerning it, you may think that he went to Jerusalem and do this one, and went to so place and do this one. But what I'm here to tell you that the cleanse of the temple is once. It's once, based on what I read from the scripture. The other points that may hold, that some people may hold, may be the fig tree. But the fig tree is not talking about the temple. The fig tree is on its own, according to Mark. He has done about the fig tree before coming into the temple. So holding on the temple perspective is based on their writings.
The Passover of the Jews. But these brothers I believe with these are the two other verses. Not to make it about Passover. Secondly, John says, for verse 16, told those who sold the pigeons, take these things away. You shall not make my father's house a house of twists, a house of trade. The other side says a house of trade.
A house of thieves. The other one is a house of thieves.
Mm. Now, the disciple remembered that it was written, Feed for thy house to continue.
Where are you confusing?
I'm reading John.
Where is confusing you?
Now, it was written. Listen to this other one. Verse 17 of Mark 11. And he thought and said to them. Now he said, Yes, I thought and said to them, is it not written, my father's my house shall be called a house of prayer. Now, this John here is saying that his disciples remembered that it was written. Who can know what I'm saying now?
I didn't get you. Where is confusing you?
This memory was after his death. I remember it. Remember this after his death.
This remembering you are reading now. Where John 17 what? John what? John 2 verse what?
John 2 verse after his death.
Look, that place you are there, it's not John just read.
I know John chapter 2. You say John 2 is after his death.
Look, he said, and what I'm saying, the disciples remembered after his death. The house of
So
prayer.
the disciples remembered that it was written. It's the same incident that is.
Listen, where you are saying, see what you are saying. When these things happen, now Yeshua said that he will build the temple. This is what the disciples now remember, that he will build the temple in 3 days. That makes Judah, the Jewish, ask him, the temple that takes us 46 years to build is what you will build in 3 days. Not knowing that he's talking about the temple of the body, his own body, whereby as now you destroy this, let's say this house now, you destroy it and be proud that you will, if anything happen, that you will build it in 3 days. So he's now that one, he's talking about his death. He's talking about his death. That is what they are remembering you here now, telling you that when he rise from the dead, now the disciples remember that he said it, that he will build the temple in 3 days. That is talking about his body.
Listen to your analysis. If I might be sincere, I don't know the angle where you're coming from. I don't know the angle where you're coming from. So I want to know where you're coming from and where you're going, because I don't understand.
I'm coming from the point that said, that did Yeshua cleanse the temple twice? I said that based on what I read in the scripture, all of them are referring to the same place, that it is once that he cleansed the temple. But he asked now that what of this one they are saying that it is written, that now that disciples remember that it is what he said it, that he will build the temple in 3 days.
Look at listen to me carefully. I say Mark chapter 11 verse 17 say, when they are when it's scattered, when he let me read from this. Let me read from this. Sorry. And he will not allow anyone to carry anything through the temple. And he called and said to them, is it not written, my house shall become a house of prayer for all the nations? Let's go to John. I'm going to come to there. John said from verse 16, and he told those who sold the people and take things away, you shall not make my house of what? Three. Are you getting it? Now 17 says, his disciples remember that it was written, zeal from thy house will consume me. Now, this what I'm saying now, what I'm trying to get here, this one told them that his house, that the house is the house of prayer, right?
Yes.
It was written.
Yes.
Now, concerning this other 17 saying that his disciples remember that it was written.
But then let me come in from
That is what I'm telling you. That one now you are asking is talking about his body, his body. That when Yeshua was right. Oh yeah, come.
from the angle where you're driving at, to me, I don't see any point of confusion.
No, I'm not saying
Calm down.
You are entering another action yourself.
No, that's not the way we do tests. Because The other one said they should make a statement. You remember? The other one also talked about his statement. But in the other verse, from Matthew, Matthew never talked mention of them remembering what has been written concerning him, that the zeal of thy house has consumed me. But the incident that occurred, the statement on the good side is the same thing. Yes. So in this, I think there is no cause for any much dwelling on that issue because it's balanced.
So it's balanced that
it's balanced.
The temple cleansing was just one.
Yes.
Then
how?
So let me put a question to you there. Let me put a question to you.
It's to me.
Because you come back now. John 2.
John 2.
John 2:11.
John 2.
11.
Okay.
John 2:11. John 2 was written when? Is it before? Is it at the beginning of his ministry or at the end of his ministry?
John 2:11.
This beginning, this beginning of miracles did Yeshua in Cana of Galilee, and manifesting forth his glory, and his disciples did what? Believed on him. And what first verse?
They are heard.
After this. Now, so after what? This which was what? The beginning of his ministry. So John is saying the cleansing of the temple happened at the beginning of his ministry, isn't it?
Okay.
So after this, he went to Capernaum. After the turning the water to wine, which is the beginning of his ministry, was when he went to Capernaum.
Yes.
And that was when the cleansing of the temple took place. This is what John is saying, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Then how come the cleansing of the temple happens in the synoptic gospel to happen at the Passover time? So in Mark,
just like about when they're about to arrest him.
During the time when the Passover was approaching.
Some will say it was what triggered the anger of the people, the chief priests, and all of that to want to arrest him. See, if we are looking at this, because why I come with the statement that these accounts they don't have any contradiction, because if you go down to that John also from that John 12, go down to 13. He talks about the Passover period as well. So meaning that this whole thing revolves within that period, which is to say the account is talking about the same thing at a particular period. But only what I see here is that, like, oftentimes with most of our assignments and things I've seen, I discovered that most at times the writing style of the accounts and the people that took these accounts, these little differences, if we don't look at it critically, we might come to a place of confusion, or we might come to a place of not understanding the situation or the period when these things occur. If you go down to the 13, and the Jews' Passover was at hand, and Yeshua went up to Jerusalem. You're reading what? It's 13. John what? John chapter 2. John chapter 2. John chapter 2 verse 13. Yes, verse 13. So, and the Passover bringing. So that was why I made that statement. All the accounts are in line because all of them is talking about the particular period of the Passover, and all the whole accounts dictate the same thing and the same thing. So there is no contradiction. So what you're trying to say now is, so you're saying that it's only this Passover that was going on from the beginning of John to the end.
What I said, that
There's only one Passover.
Like you said, you said it's 3.5 years. It's the Passover every year.
yes,
So
Passover.
is it the only Passover is it the only Passover in was it not Passover at the beginning of his ministry? Was not a feast he went one time when he was 12 years old, when he left his family, was not a feast.
It's a feast.
13 years, 30 years, was it not a feast when he was 30 years, 31 years, 32 years, 3 years? So you think this particular Passover is the only Passover you're seeing here? Is the same Passover as is this Passover here the same Passover as the Passover we see in this nothing?
Yes. Why I say it is because of this. When we look at Yeshua's ministry, his ministry of the summary of his mission took him 3 years. So if we are talking about the beginning of his ministry, dated in this place, and which means in these 3 years is a period of 3 Passovers. So in this period of this
many claim 3.5 years or 4 years. So there is no even the 2.5 years are not just suppositions. So they also be careful of not saying 2.5 years.
So now if we now see kicking off his ministry, first thing that a man does or in ministry, first of all, for us to get things right, we must address an issue. And that issue will be a key to function effectively. So for Yeshua to begin, he has first of all addressed the issue of the temple business. So that is why as it begins, how to address this issue, because this issue is one of the biggest factors that has derailed men from the business of the kingdom, the business of men, making merchandise, buying and selling. So that is why as Yeshua has to address
At the beginning of his ministry was cleansing.
yes, he addressed that issue.
At the end of his ministry,
At
at the end again.
At the end of the ministry,
And
summarize the
as in his end.
Because if you look at the concept of merchandising, like you said, like when the president came into power, the first thing it was to also one of the reasons, one of the way we could function to deal with the abnormalities so truly there's no way sure that continuing ministry without first addressing the issue. Because that become the same way they break Sabbath, they economize, commercialize the temple. So I believe there was truly a need for him to do that at speaker. Also, it's not also show on as he went further to Jerusalem again. Human beings are like goats. They want to return back. Perhaps as he went back again, doing as the pastor was approaching, he made the same thing. And that happens again. But let's be careful of trying to now say it's only one. And let's also be careful of saying it's only two.
It's trouble.
Personally, I'm not on to research about this, but from what I have read so far, what we have read so far, so I checked this account. So that's why I come to this conclusion. But I'll still go into I'll still ask me.
No, we have many things to do. So now let's not misunderstand ourselves somehow, because sir, to say the whole fact, this is not where we are before. That's why I always say that You are swimming stream before, now you are swimming ocean. That's why I always made the statement. So, what science is doing for us is what nobody can do by taking us deeper into this place, because this is places we neglect. I'm telling you the truth. I myself have not come to the senses since life. Tell me, let's go and check the difference. We only based on Matthew 11:11, this and that. Leave it and go. Let's be praying about that. At times, self, the assignment, my head scatter. I don't know where to start. I don't know where to start. So, but we are picking knowledge, even if you stand and stumble. Don't think you fail. You are picking up the point. So now, the next one is I have not known that there is skill for Bible. So now, what is skill source? Q, just only Q, source of mark. Okay. I'm not Q, only Q. Listen now. Listen. Listen. It's better to try and fail than not. What is key source of the book of Mark? What is the key source of the book of Mark? Now, Mark, the key source also called the saying. The saying, that is the basic saying. The saying of Mark. The document, the gospel of Mark. But this one is from German, Quore, Quere, Quore, okay, meaning source. Is hypothetical writing correction of primary Yeshua saying cure is part of the common material found in the gospel of Matthew and the Luke, but not in the gospel of Mark. I copied this one. Let me know that. I copied it.
That's what the man said.
Say to me, I told you that this I read now. I copy it and it gives me senses.
So what is your stand?
My stand now is that the cure here is talking about is the saying of Mark, the saying of Matthew, the saying of Luke. That is, Q stand as the basic. What to say? Who? What is this to?
That is to summarize it.
The source. The source. That is the basic writing. The basic of the writing. The base. So the Q comes strange to me. Even when before I write it, I was asking, what is Q? Q. I asked her to explain. He said, ordinary Q. I said, this Q. I know Q now. But when I go online, this is where I got this. This is where I got this. This Bible, this read by breaker scholars to hypothesize the existence of an undetermined source from which the sheer material was drawn. Q's sometimes called the lost source, while no actual source document has been found and some. Do you pick a point? What do you pick now? Let me come again. I'm reading from Bina. Q sometimes called the lost source, while no actual source document has been found, and some doubt that Q ever existed, like me, that Q ever existed. Others have attempted to reconstruct it through intensive texture. The book of Mark is a primitive primary source incorporated in both the canonical Martin's Gospel as well as Luke, Acts. Majority of scholars agree that the Gospel of Mark was not written by any of the apostles, but by an other unimportant figure in the early churches. Now, this is my understanding. Let me tell you the truth. Until you come to knowledge, you will not know so many things. This place make me to understand. Do you know that Mark is the first book